All right, this is why I think that is mandatory that India gets involved in the Ukraine-Russian war and that India sides with Russia. And I think that this should be mandatory because of the situation and what started the Ukraine-Russian war. Right. So now, um, India is led by the Gandhi family, and the Gandhis owned India's military. And actually, Gandhi's family know that I was adopted by Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe, and India made me, because I'm a Hindu as well, India made me the next Gandhi, and India's number one. Right now, because of this, I'm living in the UK and I'm not allowed to move. And if I do, I'm made homeless. So I was made homeless and I kept getting moved on by the Pakistanis who won't let me live in the UK right now because they know I'm India's number one and the next Gandhi, right? And also the rock to the music world. So now the Pakistanis won't let me live in the UK, so they kicked me out of the UK, and I ended up in France. And then I was kicked out of France by the Africans, and then I moved into Germany, and then eventually I was at the border between Russia and Latvia, and then I got caught, and the European border control people beat me up several times without a proper reason to. There was no reason to beat me up several times. It was the EU that are attacking India's number one. And they tried to break my ribs, told me they were going to shoot me with guns. Uh, yeah, I thought I was going to die that day. So this is the EU border controls that's led by Zelensky is also leading this system, and India's number one was getting beaten up at the border to Russia and Latvia. Right now, Russia is siding with me and saying no to Zelensky, Zelensky is actually South America. Right, so South America is attacking India, and Russia is saying no to this attack to India. Leave India alone because of Indo-Russia also created the farming industry that funds Zelensky's country, which is a farming country. So Indo-Russia funds Zelensky's country. Now they shouldn't be attacking India's number one like they are, right? And Russia says, and that's what started the war. Was when Zelensky started to beat up India's number one, trying to break his ribs, taking him into the forest and threatening to shoot him. That's what Zelensky does to India's number one, right? And Zelensky is also working with the Muslims in India too. And Zelensky is essentially South America, led by South America and extreme bodybuilders, and they're attacking India, right? And this is what started the Ukraine-Russian war. So it's mandatory that India sides with Russia against this war against Zelensky that started this war against Indo-Russia. So Zelensky is also working with Bangladesh and Bangladeshi Muslims in South America, and the Bangladeshis really hate the Hindus. So does Zelensky. Zelensky started the war in a fight, beating up India's number one and the head of the Gandhi family. So let's not forget that Indo-Russia created the farming industry that is originated from Krishna, who was a farmer, and that's why they worship cows in India. Is because it's what started the civilization was the help of the farming industry, and that Zelensky's country is reliant on Indo-Russia, and they shouldn't be. Threatening to kill India's number one, and Russia steps in to object. So now it's mandatory for India to side with Russia in the Ukraine-Russian war, and also for America to side with Russia and hold the peace there in the area, and also for Britain, Sweden, Italy, and Spain and France to hold the peace in the area, if anything, to be siding. So the Gandhi family made me their number one, and I'm India's number one. And in England, the Pakistanis kicked me out. Right, they won't let me live in the UK, and I'm not allowed a girlfriend. All my family being terrorised by Pakistanis and the gay communities that brought them here. They're a no girls allowed group. They don't make any sense. So I went to France and I ended up all the way in Latvia, and then on the Russian Latvian border, where I was thoroughly beaten up several times unnecessarily by the EU border control people who are led by Zelensky, who is having a war with Indo-Russia and India, because Zelensky is South America, and that South America hates Americans and also hates Indo-Russia, Indo-Europe. So more about Zelensky and his attack to India. Right, well, I had some cousins, and one of them went to Nepal a few years ago, and Zelensky's EU group then killed and created an avalanche in India, in Nepal, that killed 4,000 people. Actually, 5,000 people were murdered in one day by the EU group led by Zelensky, a homosexual group that are attacking India because India is representing also women equity. Right now, Zelensky and the EU are a draconian 12th century group that want to put women in cages and have a homosexual society only. And this is what the Bangladeshis are all about, South America and the Mardi Gras, and also the African men. And voodooism is also homosexuality, and they stole in the farming industry of Indo Russia that is, holds the farming model for the whole of Europe and America as well. Uh, okay, so now Zelensky and the Muslims in India are attacking Hindus because there's women's rights and women's equity seen in Hinduism, and the homosexuals, Zelensky and the Muslims, are objecting. And they've gone to war with Indo-Russia, and that's what the Ukraine-Russian war is all about. So I'm India's number one, and I'm also engaged to Karina, and she's a singer from the ABBA music family in Sweden. Right, so I also recommend highly that Sweden gets involved and helps out Russia, because Indo-Russia is under attack, and that also means ABBA, and that Sweden's army should get together now with also Russia and counterattack this war against Indo-Russia, a war staged by South Americans and the homosexual communities that are No Girls Allowed group, won't allow women's equity, and this is how they're ruling Europe right now, and they plan it to get a lot worse with the immigrants coming in to rule a kind of misogynistic society where women have to hide away. So Zelensky is attacking India's number one, and Zelensky's group, they killed my stepdad, they killed my dad, they killed my other dad, they killed my uncle, they killed people in Blackpool where I'm from, and they're threatening to kill kids. Right, this is Zelensky's attack to India's number one, so it's mandatory now that India goes in and fights with Russia and Korea that are there right now, and India must be there too, with hopefully the biggest army in the world will be able to provide a good counterattack to help Russia out, where India was under attack, and this is what started the Ukraine-Russian war. And brilliant song by Calvin Harris, How Deep Is Your Love, is actually about me when I got beaten up at the border by Zelensky's group. And the song one of the lyrics is "Hit me harder, how deep is your love?" And it's about Nirvana. And this is a true story and a number one dance track. I recommend you go and have a listen. It's a brilliant track, and it's about me and how the Pakistanis kicked me out of England because I'm India's number one, and also I'm called the Buddha, and the Africans won't let me live in Europe. The gays won't let me live in Germany, and the EU border control then thoroughly tried to beat me up and threatening to shoot me. Then soon after, about 7 months later, the Ukraine-Russian war starts.